Greetings, gentle viewers!
You ever hear the one about the English language Malaysian Viking movie that looks like Tarzan Sings Immortals? If it was made by the Asylum? The one where Thor tries to kill the Christian god who can only be stalked by an undead Viking king?
Punchline, it's a real movie!
Yes, this is real and it's called Vikingdom. Vikingdom is an equally good pronunciation. It was directed by the terribly pronounced Yusri Abid Halim. He made his name in his native Malaysia by doing shit like this. He didn't direct this, he's one of the guys singing. You know, a film as epic and frankly as long as this really needs 2 reviewers. And I don't feel like doing a long skit setting this shit up, so...
Oi, Viking! We're reviewing a film together!
Oh, really?
Yeah! It's Vikingdom!
Oh, fuck yes, let's do this. Good lord, where do you even start with a movie like this? Did you mention that this is pretty much a 2-hour-long power metal music video?
No, I thought that was pretty obvious given the shit that's happening on screen right now.
Ah, of course. So, you wanted me here for historical accuracy, I suppose. I, the one and only Viking, born in Jutland, 820 AD, rendered immortal through a combination of supreme will and otherworldly sex rituals, who, when he's not hungover, can sometimes remember what it was actually like in that era?
No, I wanted you along because it's pretty much a 2-hour power metal music video. You could play any power metal song over this and it would work beautifully.
In fact, I'm gonna do that right now. Battle Metal by Tyresis!
Two can play at this game, Bloodbound by Hammerfall.
Storming Across Heaven by Dragonland!
We could do this all day and still not find any songs that don't fit. This whole opening sequence is the exact kind of preposterous cheese that power metal videos thrive on. In fact, any still fucking frame of this sequence could be an album cover. Especially this one. May I just say that anytime someone named Conan is cast as Thor, it is genius. And it will continue to be genius. At least until some idiot does a remake of Rock and Roll Nightmare starring Conan O'Brien. It's pretty much inevitable. That remake writes itself.
We open on a battlefield. There's some very half-hearted impalements that didn't even go all the way through the fucking body. And our star, Eirik the Viking, is dying. He's being comforted by his best friend Sven and his younger brother Beothric, the proud owner of an obvious villain Tash.
He is mortally wounded.
Brother, you're king now. Rule well.
Like that's gonna fucking happen.
Are you sure this is a battlefield? It doesn't really look like one. If anything, it looks similar to one of my pub crawls. Half-hearted impalements and all. Apparently I'm a mean drunk.
Everybody has a story to tell about their lives. My story begins the day I died.
Hey Eirik, you've just died bravely in battle. What are you gonna do now? I'm going to Stonehenge!
There is in nature an irregular occurrence when the sun burns red as the moon crosses its path. This is the blood eclipse.
In case you didn't know, Stonehenge has nothing to do whatsoever with Vikings. The thing predates the Viking era by thousands of years and was probably made by weird proto-druids or some shit.
The Vikings would probably misunderstand the name and call it Stonehenge, and then wonder why the Druids built a hedge out of stone, and then pillage them for being stupid.
According to this movie, the Vikings used magical items to open portals between the realms of Midgard, Valhalla, and Helheim during the Blood Eclipse.
Whatever the fuck that is. Beyond a subtitle that we were never going to use anyway.
And now Thor, humanity's champion among the Aesir, is collecting the items so he can open the portals, specifically for the purpose of killing humanity. So they've basically turned Thor into Shao Kahn. Call me crazy, but I don't think this is the historically accurate period piece I thought it was going to be. Hagen, did you lie to me?
I never lie about the movies I review!
Jesus, I was kidding. Christ.
You know how in Western films, sometimes they'll treat all foreign cultures from a different part of the world as pretty much the same? How you might get a Hollywood movie set in Japan that borrows stuff from China, Cambodia, or Korea because they know the majority of the audience won't know or care. Well, Vikingdom does that with Europe. That's why Thor is dressed like a Celtic hoplite. That's why Stonehenge is up a mountain in Denmark. That's why there are random Celtic symbols on Thor's pillars. And why Thor's aim is to kill the Christian god.
Well, that and Thor watched Revelation Road. Take that, Pureflix!
In fact, the only historically accurate part of this is the raid on Lindisfarne, as in, there was actually a Viking raid on the island of Lindisfarne in 1793. It was the first historically documented Viking raid on the British Islands. Tons of murder, rape, theft, arson, jaywalking. It was pretty fucking swell. Granted, the real island is much smaller and its castle is made of stone, not vulcanized rubber and styrofoam.
Wait!
What?
Unnecessary CGI slop!
Wow. I think we've reached the most unnecessary CGI that ever unnecessaried. Until the inevitable next time this happens, of course.
Nothing enrages us more than seeing a monk pissing non-CGI piss.
Oh no! If only we were familiar with the concept of lookouts!
I don't know what's funnier, that no one noticed the Vikings, or the fact that the Vikings waited until they were spotted to invade.
It's number 2. Trust me, it's number 2. Oh, Spider Vikings, climb up the cliffs, mostly off screen, historical accuracy, take that shit, throw it out, here comes the Spider Vikings.
The powers of bullet time and green screen. These are no ordinary Vikings.
Ah, yes, the classic Viking war machine, using kite shields from Normandy, phalanx tactics from ancient Rome, and the traditional horned helmets from a 10-year-old's imagination.
I'm rather partial to the accurate reproduction of ancient Viking time distortion flying techniques myself. Weirdly, Thor is much more visually accurate than usual.
How? The sheepskin kilt? The Greek breastplate? The Gondor helmet? The Power Ranger Mjolnir? The intoxicatingly red Pippi Longstocking hair?
Well, yes, the hair. He's supposed to be a redhead.
There is a massive difference between being a redhead and having the motherfucker look like he tried to make a wig out of a Tickle Me Elmo.
Never again mention Tickle Me Elmo in my presence! So Thor's come searching for the necklace of Mary Magdalene. Oh wait, this is sweet. Ah, neck snapped by inertia. Fucking brilliant. He needs the necklace, a Christian relic, partly to open the portal, but mostly because he's a big Da Vinci Code fan.
I am Thor, son of Odin, brother of Baldur. I've come for that which is not yours, nor your one god, nor his son. The necklace.
After killing a few more monks, because that never gets old, Thor gets a necklace from Father Palpatine and gives him what he always wanted.
Martyr's death.
And then we're somewhere north of the wall, far from Greg Thor Clegane. King Eirik the Shirtless and now undead is firing CGI arrows without flights and fighting a man in a bear suit.
Forgive me, old friend.
I think we arrived at the tail end of a bear-based premix of Tusk.
That would explain why he doesn't skin the body and instead drags the several hundred-pound corpse to the river and washes the blood off. Hold up, what happened to all the snow? How long did it take him to get to the river? It's fucking spring. And 1,300 years later, apparently, because most of this is still fucking green screen.
Stay your business. My Lord Frey.
Oh no, it's just Frey. Lord Frey, god of fertility, fair weather, obvious wigs, gold jewelry, glowing tribal tattoos, and popped-ass collars.
So, if there was a Viking Jersey Shore, he'd be the star.
Yep, behold the Viking god of douchebags.
Also god of Galadriel cosplayers. So Frey's here to enlist Eirik for a mission.
I bring you news of coming war. Thor has returned to the Midgard.
He wants Eirik to journey into Helheim, basically the Viking Hell, to retrieve a horn which can be used to kill Thor and save Midgard. They want him because only the undead can enter Helheim and return. And 10 years earlier, the goddess Freya brought him back to life because she loved him.
The ultimate love. That between a man and a goddess.
Frey is secretly angry that his love for Eirik is less than ultimate.
Of course, her bringing him back to life makes no sense in the first place, because after dying in battle, he'd go to Valhalla, which is right next door to Asgard, and she'd be able to see him anytime she wants.
Hagen, 3 realms, remember? Asgard proper doesn't even exist in this movie. When Eirik dies again, he'll probably just go to, I don't know, Jamaica, I guess, where Freya cannot go, because that would mean getting a sunburn on her glowing, stupid-ass tattoos.
Live, my lover. Live.
I'm guessing they didn't burn his body as per Viking tradition, because her gathering up ashes, bringing them back to life, and apologizing when she found out she had the wrong guy before killing him again would have been too funny. And this movie is many things, but it is never funny.
On purpose.
As you can see here, the god of douchebags can summon chrome solo cups to his hand and magically fill them with natty ice. You know what, I really want to see the full extent of Frey's douche power. I want to see him and Eirik just bro out on the couch, light up some pure OG kush while playing Def Jam Fight for New York on the original Xbox, silently mourning the fact that the game was made too early for Lil Wayne and Gucci Mane to be included in the roster. Fucking YOLO! But first, you know, saving the world. I guess.
That, and saving his best friend Sven from hovel-based marital bliss.
So give me a moment to collect my things and bid farewell, and I will be back.
Everyone in this has an accent, but it's never the right one. To get to Helheim, they need to find a wizard druid called Alcuin, because they're the same thing! And they need a ship, because what kind of Viking story would it be if there wasn't a ship?
A land-based one?
AKA a shit one. One without some guys trying to barter travel with invisible furs.
Can you pay?
Yeah, we can pay you in fur.
And definitely one without a random Chinese slave to rescue.
What What manner of man is coloured yellow?
One that's as confused as you about why exactly he's in the movie.
Maybe he's a Laplander or a dwarf. Way too ugly to be an elf.
The Chinese guy is called Yang, and of course he's a master martial artist, and he wears a boss-ass dragon trench coat. His entire presence in the film is mystifying and ridiculous. How the hell did Yang wind up in Scandinavia?
Given that he's a martial artist, I think the bigger question is how the fuck was he captured by a short fat guy and locked in a cart?
The important thing is that he is a beautiful, virile paradox. He has no business being in this movie, but yet, simultaneously, he has every fucking business being in this movie. Because, fuck it, he makes about as much sense as anything else in this movie. Hell, if anything, he makes the most sense, actually. Yang, despite not being a Viking, represents Vikingdom better than any other character. I mean, think about it. They're both inexplicable, weirdly out of place, good at starting random fights, their English is really awkward. Really, the list goes on.
This is a good village set. I wonder why they built it on a beach. Maybe all the good village set locations were taken. I mean, the only thing this place seems to have going for it is the bustling wig trade. And that they produce a bizarrely vivid shade of red.
And they also produce fight scenes. Like, mass-produced. There's a fight scene every minute, and the novelty is clearly gone. Look at the locals. They've seen this shit before. Also, Eric, greatest warrior ever and hunter of fake-ass bear suits, do you want to do something in this fight or not?
Stabbed 2 guys right in the fucking nuts. Let's see that again.
One more time.
Please, not again.
Oh, that's just... Oh, I felt it in your vulva. I mean, it's still fucking cool, but... Nut stabbing, man. Oh, there should be a rule. Anyway, they get a meeting with the local king about meeting Alcuin, the wizard druid guy. But, alas, he has been kidnapped.
What happened?
A group of warriors, deep warriors they were, came to trade, not many in number. That was the last we saw of Alcuin.
This guy, King Carl, bleeds mead and pisses Pilsner, and it's almost definitely not acting, because no sober person would act like this on purpose, but I wish the rest of the cast would fucking try.
Thank you, my dear. A pleasure as always.
Truly, he is King Dio of the land of the Niceus. Hey, check out the thrones. The back part is painted onto the wall.
By the way, who's your friend?
We found him.
I think he may be an elf. But he fights like a Valkyrie.
An elf, you say? Well, a big bastard, isn't he?
They need to rescue Alcuin, so put a crew together that night. And if you can think of a better way to do that than throwing a party, getting everyone liquored up and listening to Viking evangelism, then I'd like to hear it.
He was raised by her divine
intervention.
Hallelujah, brother. I want to tap that ass too. This movie needs more of King Carl. Actually, no, scratch that. Every movie needs more of him. All of them. Jaws, Pulp Fiction, Deliverance, Serbian Film, Schindler's List. Ah, they're letting Eric talk again. Ah, fuck.
I stand here today, for God has asked me to write a song for people to sing in years to come.
Let me tell you of all the reasons you should join my crew. 1, as you are not main characters, you will almost definitely die.
2, I look like Sylvester Stallone without the half-melted monster face, so you know I'm legit.
Not exactly an inspirational speech.
It's been a while.
I'm all off.
And I love a shit speech!
我们造。
I assumed that speech was inspirational.
James Remar lookalike jobs are thin this time of year.
I'm called Henrik. Will there be any fighting?
There will, lad.
Well, shit, I'm an accountant. Fuck me.
They also managed to get Feppo from Lex to join up. Little does he know that their chances to rape Stanley Tweedle on this voyage will be few and far between.
Bernard, killer of women and children.
Oh no, he's a killer of women and children? Fantastic! I love killing women and children. You'll fit right in.
I ask again. Any more men?
Excuse me, my name is Dernhelm and I'd like to join your team of red shirts.
This is not a quest for a woman.
I don't get why he doesn't want to bring her with them. I mean, earlier on they gave Eric a slave-freeing cool guy moment, and now he's just being a dick. What are you trying to tell us about his character? And besides, this whole thing is an outdated movie trope with an obvious setup and an equally obvious conclusion. And historically, Vikings were cool with women warriors, and also slavery, ironically enough. So Eric is actually acting like the opposite of a Viking. Though it's not like any of that matters, because the whole conflict gets settled literally 50 seconds later, because, as it turns out, she owns the boat they're taking.
On my ship? You'll do as ordered as any man here will?
Like a sword with a broken tip, this plotline was pointless.
So, with everyone signed up for the LARP, we cut to medieval England. Thor ignores the cardboard walls and mopes around villainously in front of the massive Tudor rose.
Christianity lies at our feet. With you, a God-made man, nothing can stop us.
Even a god can be stopped.
I know you had no choice to take me.
What does a woman know about winds and waves?
As much as anyone whose mother died in childbirth and whose father took her on the longboats. I have sailed the great seas to Angle Island, Greenland, and woven a course between mountains of ice.
That's why me and my thermal sports bra know how to dress appropriately for cold weather.
I say by nightfall, we'll all be rowing.
And I say we won't.
What the fuck is his deal? Does he just hate the idea of someone vagina-ing up his adventure? Or does he really just not want to fall in love with her? Because that's obviously what's gonna fucking happen no matter what. It is so transparently inevitable that I think the movie is insulting us by making their scenes together as painful as possible. And I gotta say, I don't appreciate it.
They arrive at Gotland to rescue Alcuin the wizard druid, and I could accept everyone's impractical shirtlessness when they were at home, but this is meant to be snowing. The only reason I can think of for this is that the studio lights were too warm for realistic costumes.
This is way too
warm
for my liking.
Oh shit! Those Skraelings stole the secrets of King Carl's red fabric dye!
Nah, they're just a group of extras from Hercules' The Legendary Journeys on their way back from a reunion. And old habits die hard.
I still think they stole the red dye, because I want to believe in my heart of hearts that King Carl is still involved in this story somehow. Just let me dream, man.
So, what band should we stick over this action scene?
How about Advance? Oh, good choice.
That one counts as mine!
A few fun bits from this fight. 1, the accountant gets killed first, as it should be. 2, this guy falls over for no reason. And 3, a Pict was told about the James Remar lookalike, but thought they said Roman and so wants to kill.
This guy is amazing. He turns up completely out of nowhere, looks ridiculous and anachronistic as fuck, instantly thinks he's Eric's arch nemesis, and then he just dies like a punk bitch. It's a lot of build-up for absolutely nothing. It is a profound anticlimax. It's like Highlander if, in the first 15 seconds, they just killed off the Kurgan like nothing.
There can be only one.
Inside an ancient stone butt plug, they find Alcuin the wizard druid, aka Homeless Saruman, expert in eyebrow-based sorcery.
Soldiers come from the north. You have powerful enemies, Fate Eirik.
I should know, for I am a tree!
Not just a tree, but a Christmas tree Santa Claus hybrid. If you forget to buy a tree, I'll deliver myself to your doorstep on Christmas Eve and gradually pull presents out of my ass. Just try not to think of the smell. It's quite bad.
Hey look, they worked out how to burn the dead since Eirik was killed.
So who bets that Tyr's gonna run in the second we change scenes and get pissed off that they burnt his lover? Man, oh man, wouldn't their faces be red?
Okay, that just sounds like Top Gun mated with Gladiator.
Nah, I'd say it's more like Troy having an orgy with the Iron Eagles movies.
More like Blue Thunder murdered Centurion and ejaculated on still moldering corpse!
Hey, why is Thor on a horse and not, riding a chariot pulled by giant goats in the sky? Vikingdom. There's a baseline of accuracy that I expect from a movie that believes it's a team of seahorses guarding the gateway to hell, and you are not achieving it.
It is there!
How do I reach it?
Swim far and deep. Follow the current as it gets colder and colder to the very depths.
Hopefully Eric will stab that old man if he finds the spaceship from Sphere instead of the gates of hell.
You're gonna need tallow.
Yes! An excuse to take my shirt off!
Are you scared?
Terrified.
Please, someone, for the love of God, light a fire underneath this guy's ass so he can express a fucking emotion. Natasha Mouth is rubbing Vaseline on his buff-ass man titties, and even then he refuses to perk up or care in the least about anything. Maybe there would be more of a reaction if Sven did it. Under the sea, down where it's better, down where it's wetter, all the horses live under the sea.
I really can't tell if these horses are waiting to film a Guinness advert or if Eirik has stumbled onto a Last Unicorn crossover. See the majesty and terror of Viking hell! I bet you didn't know it was a planet set from Star Trek The Next Generation, did you? In particular, the one where they fought the Ferengi in Season 1.
Eric gets attacked by some flesh-eating Viking zombie ghosts. Denied Valhalla, they have been driven mad and turned into Dominic Percell-loving necro-cannibals. Makes sense to me. Luckily, he is saved by... Father?
Eirik, you are not my son.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Your mother never knew. He came, had my face, my image.
And then he came again.
Why are you here? I don't mind being fed to the lions if only you wouldn't shout.
In hell, Eirik needs to find the horn that can kill Thor. So where else would you find that but inside a pile of naked golden women?
I need one of those for my basement, man.
Kitsch. I have a silver one. Who the fuck would want gold?
You know, there are worse hells to be stuck in.
There are. I've been to worse hells. You know which one is the worst? The Asphodel Meadows, of all things. There isn't even any torture going on. It's just fucking boring. It don't have no booty tunnel, I'll tell you that much.
He's meant to look tempted and turned on, but he just looks confused. Which is very well earned.
Father, now!
This is one of the most surreal things I've ever seen, and I've seen the Holy Mountain's lactating ocelot tits.
As surreal as a giant T-Rex that's 80% head?
Yeah, that's just an 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mauser made of CGI. Oh dear, however will they escape from this peril?
As the horrendous black beast lunged forward, escape for Arthur and his knights seemed hopeless. When suddenly, the animator suffered a fatal heart attack. The cartoon peril was no more. The quest for the Holy Grail could continue.
Think well of me, son. Always.
Sorry, wrong number.
Things aren't always as they seem, my love.
You must blow the horn in the face of Thor to stop him.
Just get on with it!
He's there.
Dude, you won't believe this, but I pulled this horn out of a giant vagina made of golden women! It was fucking sick!
They set sail for Eirik's old kingdom to raise an army and meet Thor's forces, so Eirik can sneak past and kill Thor. Unfortunately, Eirik's throne's been taken away by his dickish and dishonourable brother, who's apparently a shit king anyway.
Hardly a moon goes by when our swords don't wet the ground with some poor bastard's claret. We only fight for gold now. Not like the old days.
Yeah, it's not like the old days when we fight for fun, or pillaging, or the love of rape, or goods, or gold.
No more raids. What would your father say?
He'd smack you around and bellow in your face that gold was one of the reasons for those raids.
Eirik's brother has turned the kingdom into yet another strangely medieval realm, and the world's greatest and most expensive mercenary force through the power of his villain beard.
Look around you, brother.
Look around you. Just look around you. Have you worked out what we're looking for? Correct. The answer is sulfur.
See you the poor trappings of our father's era? No. No, you do not.
No, I see a set from Nightmare. Maybe he spent all the money on armour so as to make do with imaginary furniture.
Forgive me, brother.
Take them away! Search them!
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal!
I'm sorry. Craig Fairbrass almost fills the King Carl-shaped hole in my heart. Almost. Anyway, Erik and his men are sent to be tortured by the traitorous brother, probably because he's in Thor's pocket, but mostly because his penis is hilariously small.
Why don't you just give Lord Beothric what he wants? Then we don't have to do this.
Because he didn't ask for anything.
Yeah, the guy's just a dickhead.
This is just based on my years of personal experience, but whipping someone at the same time as punching them never ends well. For the punchers, anyway. The whippers have a great time.
Someone's approaching. And it's not one of us.
Really? Brianna, I'm not sure, but I think I might have swum to shore and brought a boat back here. I'll check. No, I'm still here. You're right. It's not one of us.
You're friends of my Lord Eirik?
We are.
Then know this. He has been betrayed. He and his fellows are in the dungeon. I might get you into the keep, but by oath, I cannot raise a sword against my brothers.
Technically keeping an oath. The very best kind of oath-keeping.
Yes. These Jomsburg are no brawlers, my lass. They're the finest warriors on earth.
Good.
That just means it'll be extra embarrassing when they get their heads kicked in!
We'll not pass that courtyard unseen.
I wouldn't be so glum, good Yorick.
Badass. He has a fog machine under his robe. Hey, is this Saharon? Because there's some killer fog warriors.
I don't understand half the stuff you say.
Good. You know what this movie needs?
A guy who is rolling around in a foot of water being set on fire instantly the second a flaming torch brushes against him?
Yeah, wow. It's like you read my mind.
Nah, I read your script. And I gotta say, I resent the idea that I don't know what a fucking fog warrior is.
Too late. That bit's already edited. We're on to the rescue now.
Open the gate.
Fuck you.
Well, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen, smart guy?
Open the door!
Whatever you say, my lady.
Hey, Sven and the guys are locked up with chains while Eirik's untied in a cell with a door tied up with rope. I wish Brianna and the others were a few minutes late so we could have seen the looks on the guards' faces as they worked out that Eirik inexplicably has the power of not untying.
The true artistic triumph of this film is that it somehow manages to make real stone walls look like painted backdrops, and also make painted backdrops look like green screen. It's almost dreamlike, it's so shitty. So anyway, I think this castle hasn't quite seen enough betrayal for one movie just yet.
King of Jomsburg! Could this be what you seek?
You bastard! Traitor!
My.
I love Alcuin's performance. It's like Vincent Price trying to play Marty Feldman.
I have a tree on my back.
Take him away. Treat him as befits a royal. Use the sword. Throw the rest off the cliff.
They, of course, escape. Again, because the people are just so pissed off to be working for a guy who apparently brought them riches, respect, and unmatched prosperity, but, you know, the guy's a dickhead, so fuck it, I guess.
My lord, we are with you. We will take you away from this place and give you shelter.
We will also gather a group of men to join you to fight the Trondalag.
What about the men gathered up there to watch my execution? Don't worry, we have a plan. Hey, look over there! Phew, I can't believe that worked. And that my brother didn't want to see evidence of our deaths.
Are we ready for a long and slow build-up to Eric and Brianna fucking? That's really not so much of a build-up as them just doing nothing for ages and then suddenly fucking? Of course you are, because that's what their relationship has been for the whole movie.
I know you said you would ask no more of me than any man.
When?
Yeah, I missed that too.
He went from, oh, vagina boat, to, yeah, you're okay, and sex is okay, I guess, with no real transitional period or character arc or anything really, and Brianna just wants to fuck him because she's decided she's turned on by men who can phone it in. Really, really hard. But he only has eyes for Freya. Luckily, she appears in his mirror to give him her permission to fuck her.
I barter myself with the gods, so that you might live again. But your life came with a condition, that you and I can never experience love again.
What? What? What?
What? Squared, cubed, quartered. I mean, pardon my French, but c'est cool le baiser, c'est merde. Why would you make such a deal? We already discussed this. Him dying would have worked infinitely in your favor, because then you'd both be in Valhalla. Together. You fucking failure.
Stop living in memories. If a man spends his life looking backwards, he'll miss what's right in front of him.
And what is right in front of me?
A badly angled trick mirror shot.
A chance for the one thing that mortals have that the gods desire. Love.
I think Lady Frigg and Lady Sif are gonna want a word with you, you golden glowing bitch. Also, Freya, you're the goddess of love. Love is one of your goddamn dominions. You're telling me you don't know anything about the thing you're supposed to be in charge of? What are you, the pointy-haired boss from fucking Dilbert? Are you that incompetent? Are you playing chess with pineapples and losing?
Stupid fruit! Best 3 out of 5.
That had absolutely nothing to do with anything. You just want an excuse to play that clip, didn't you?
Honestly? Yeah, I did. I am so shameless.
Fight, so that your name is whistled down the ages.
So that your name would be spoken aloud amidst horrible dialogue in an amazingly, brilliantly terrible film.
Couldn't Freya have just appeared and said, Eric, I'm okay with an open relationship, it's totally cool? I mean, that's basically her MO anyway in the mythology. Freya doesn't have any qualms whatsoever when it comes to fucking. Just ask Frey. He knows.
Especially since she possessed Brianna to have the conversation. For all we know, this is just Freya's way of getting some kinky as fuck mortal and mortal action. Anyway, the next morning, Eirik Bloodletter is Prince Valiant.
Forgive us, sire. We have traitors in our midst.
Forgive us, sire, but we didn't check to see if any of the captives were actually executed as you said, but in our defense, you didn't tell us to. Oh, you've been poisoned. Awesome, that guy was a dickhead. Quick, let's team up with Eric, see what he's doing.
Over at Thor's place, one of his lieutenants finally asks him what the plan is. Yes, finally. And Thor tells him. Open the gates of Helheim, kill the Christian gods, and as a side effect, kill most of humanity.
What care have I for mortals? I am a god.
You may care little, my lord, but I'll not let you lead us into our own destruction!
The arm the hammer set on fire is the one that didn't touch it.
So Thor reveals that only those with the blood of the gods can even touch Mjolnir, setting up the greatest Chekhov's mystical hammer in history.
You, Wilfred, suffer from a lack of vision. Captain, I name you King of Nordland in place of Wilfred.
Oh, yeah! Vikingdom!
Show Lord of the Rings how to have unnecessary walking shots, and ambling, and strolling, and cantering, and roaming, and wandering, and marching, and hiking.
And shutting the fuck up.
And strutting. You shut the fuck up!
Men of Jomsburg, Vikings, brothers. Across the ridge is the army of the north, more than 1,000 strong. We are but a few. 5 to 1.
1,000-ish versus 200-ish. Seems a bit low-key for the end of the world.
Yeah, low-key would make this fight far better. Man, if this is supposed to be Ragnarok, I am direly disappointed. I was promised a giant snake, damn it!
Some of you know me. Some of you have bled with me. Some of you have heard tall tales of battles won.
I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me.
No plan, no backup, no weapons worth a damn. Oh, and something else I don't have. Anything to lose.
Today we are canceling the apocalypse!
We're going to live on. We're going to survive. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure.
You find yourself alone, riding in green fields with the sun on your face. Do not be troubled, for you are in Elysium, and you're already dead.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
But tonight, we dine in hell!
I have a dream today.
More like it.
They don't stand a chance against our mighty army.
Retreat!
Retreat! Huh. Well, that was quick. Nah, it's just a feint. They retreat, and before the enemy lowers their guard, they reappear at their flank. Which isn't how a flank works, so really that whole maneuver was a waste of time, and it would be useless in a real engagement.
Shh! Just because they used real tactics earlier on does not mean we should expect it now. Anyway, this battle can be summed up with?
My warriors, a legacy shall this day be wrought by our blades. Decreed by the gods, blessed by the blood of vanquished foes, our destiny beckons. Come, great king of Hyperborea, march against me with your splendid legions and shimmering swords. I shall visit 1,000 flames upon your realm, and bring untold havoc and
Bal Sagoth. Excellent choice, and also very appropriate for our crossover.
I am well aware of that.
You were just waiting all movie to use them, weren't you?
Oh, yes.
Vikingdom, where every castle is circa 1500. Behold my flag, motherfuckers!
Sire.
Speak, man.
They've broken to the left, sire. They've reinforced.
I'm pretty sure at least one of these guys is called Canute. Hey, Canute, why don't you order the invasion to retreat? You guys are getting your asses handed to you.
I've come to face you, Thor, and die if I must.
You cannot stand against me, my son.
No. That's still not true. That's doubly impossible.
I did not need such artifices. She was a willing whore to my desires.
I think they have Thor mixed up with one of them Greek gods.
Which one?
Oh, any of them? All of them? Probably all of them.
Did you truly believe a mortal man could rise from the dead, could drink from a cup of Frey without dying, could lay with the goddess of love without being driven insane by desire?
But Thor! Freya said that only mortals could love. Only mortals have the good dick.
Yield to me, and together we shall rule the...
Rule the universe as father and son, or something.
I will not let you destroy the Middle Kingdom.
Then fight.
Alright, and welcome to Friday Night SmackDown! The battle between the God of Thunder, Thor, and King Eirik, the zombie from Jomsburg, and it's gonna be a barnstormer!
Oh, you are so right! This is gonna be the first time either of them have fought inside the mountaintop ring of stone, and it's already punishing them!
Thor's been on great form this year, ripping out the eyeballs of underlings and nailing priests to crosses. But this one might be a challenge. I mean, Eirik has literally been to hell and back.
Yes, but remember, Eirik's hardly been battling gods recently. I think the hardest thing he fought the last pay-per-view was a man in a bear suit. But regardless, the result is gonna be one for the ages.
Oh, and it looks like Thor has an illegal weapon! I can't believe the referee is gonna allow this!
Well, I've just been told that the referee was one of the countless casualties of the brutal war happening just outside the ring.
Thor has already riled up the fans by calling every mortal in earshot a fool and by trying to wipe out humanity. But there are those that say that Eirik is too wooden to really get over with the fans.
What he lacks in charisma or acting ability, he makes up in the ability to take a punch! If Thor is to defeat Eirik and end all humanity, do you think the battle with Hercules could be just around the corner?
Well, yes, I do, but unfortunately, none of us will be around to witness it.
Crying shame.
All sweat.
Do you think the movie knows that's not an eclipse?
Nope. You know, with our red sky and heavy rain, we are this close to raining blood from a lacerated sky.
Your weapon holds no fear for me. I have the blood of the gods in me. I have the blood of the gods.
Brutal.
Brianna is stabbed during the final battle, and Eric blows the horn of Helheim. And then Frey arrives, revealing that the god of douchebags is a fucking douchebag. Oh my god, what a twist!
Being gods, both Thor and I needed you to obtain this horn.
I just had an idea.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
Frey is a god, and she's gonna be fucked over by the Christian god as badly as any of them. She and Frey sometimes have an incestish thing going on, so maybe she was part of the plan. Maybe she seduced Eirik so she'd have an excuse to raise him from the dead, and that if somebody could go into Helheim and grab the horn. It would explain why her reasons for raising him made no sense, and it could explain why she's unable to go to Midgard. She was lying and just didn't want to see his leathery dick again.
I like this theory, but you're working under the assumption that this movie had thought put into it, so unlikely.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So it turns out that Gregor Clegane has been working with Frey, meaning it was the fucking Lannisters behind it all along. I knew it! Man, I hope there's a sequel where Charles Dance plays Odin. That'd be the fucking tits. And just so you all know, the whole movie, Frey has been communicating with Thor while dressed as this Norse Dementor or some shit. But in retrospect, it makes no sense. Why would Thor's generals need to be kept in the dark about his involvement? It's like, who cares? There's already one god amongst them. What's a second? Anyway, it turns out the horn is a fake. Alcuin and his ridiculous powers just pretended to betray them, and Frey and Thor are sucked into a fiery sky anus.
Where did Alcuin get a fake horn which could do that? The Earth created it for him. It also gave him the order to pretend to betray Eirik, because no man or god should rule the Earth.
I listened to what the Earth told me. No one, god or mortal, should rule the Earth.
You know, given that this film is the Christian God existing and stuff, I would like to think that afterwards Alcuin went off and arranged his Kirk Cameron-loving death by fiery sky anus too. He does like to claim to own the Earth, after all.
Although...
some Christians claim that Lucifer is the god of the Earth. So maybe Alcuin missed, sent Lucifer to hell by accident, and the usual story of his fall is just a misunderstanding.
May I say something, please? Pretty please? Alcuin could have prevented everything that happened in the last 40 minutes of this film if he had told someone about the fake horn. If anyone knew that Alcuin had made a fake horn that would fuck over Thor and Frey and essentially solve the whole plot, they could have avoided the battle entirely, and hundreds of men would still be alive. As soon as Eric learns about that, he's gonna feed Alcuin into a fucking wood chipper. How about you serve the Earth as compost, you scruffy, negligent cunt? Oh, hey, the Grand Canyon somehow made it to Denmark. Weird.
Brianna.
It's a good death.
It should have been me.
No one chooses their fate.
No, you clearly made the conscious decision to take the hit, so, no, this death was actually really fucking lame. You know, I just realized Natasha Mouth played Bloodrain in its sequels, and Dominic Purcell played Dracula in Blade Trinity. Damn, girl, you went from shitty movies and mediocre games to scoring the most royal of vampire dick. Nice one. At least until you got shanked. But, hey, them's the breaks, I guess.
Being stabbed is an improvement over fucking anyone who's in Blade Trinity.
Behold, Brianna the Fair. You see your mother awaiting you in paradise.
Behold, Gregor the Formidable. Do you see our kinsmen?
Behold, Warwick the Wise. Do you see your rest awaiting you in paradise?
Behold, Bernard the Viking.
Behold, Bernard the Human. He was a guy.
Behold Bernard, the carbon-based life form? I think he had some lines in the second act, maybe.
Mankind is now free to choose their gods, their friends, their enemies. I became known as Eirik Thorson. My men and I have become the guardians of the holy relics. Not many know of our existence.
Yep.
So our song is not yet sung.
Wait, are they telling us that the sequel that won't happen will be much better than this one? Wow. I like that kind of honesty. It's as admirable as it is laughably untrue. But really, you have to adjust your expectations for Vikingdom. It is not an Oscar-winning tour de force overflowing with craftsmanship and all of the hallmarks of cinematic excellence. It is pure, dumb nonsense. The effects are cheesy, the editing is choppy, and the story is messy and generally flows like a clogged toilet.
It's also impossible to make it any less historically accurate.
Skull! I heard you were reviewing a Viking movie. I want a cameo.
Okay, maybe it could be less historically accurate.
Excuse me? Are you suggesting that there were no black Vikings? Because those motherfuckers did raids all the way down to Africa. They brought slaves back from everywhere, and they weren't picky about who they had kids with.
Wait.
You know, Vikings would refer to black people as blue men. I even read about a war band called the Blue Men of Dublin. Dublin being a city founded by Vikings.
I just meant...
Black Irish Vikings, like a Guinness with horns.
He is right, though. Vikings of various races and origins have been documented, including the aforementioned Blue Men of Africa. Matter of fact, I knew a guy in the Varangian Guard named Skandar. Funny guy, but man, he was so blue that it was like dabba-dee, dabba-die. Guy was so blue, he makes Malcolm over there look like me.
Yeah.
My point was that you couldn't make this any less historically accurate. You! It could be, but not because of you!
Oh. Can I still do a cameo when you do the review about it?
Absolutely. We'll let you know exactly when we're filming.
Sweet.
Anyway, bottom line, Vikingdom is really stupid, and it's amazing precisely for that reason. It's goofy and melodramatic, it has some good action in it, and it generally keeps you entertained, if only because of how inept, ridiculous, and just plain wrong everything is. This is a movie where you get you and your buddies together, get stupid drunk, and just riff the movie until the cows come home.
You know, I pretty much have to agree. This is one of those films that's terrible but amazing in equal amounts. You have to cheer the mad audacity of the whole thing, especially if you're a fan of power metal.
Which I am, so I'm really fucking happy!
Me too.
Good! Now fuck off and be happy elsewhere!
One of the nice little hilarious touches to this film is that it's basically Terry Jones' Eric the Viking, but in a different order. Observe. Hero gets teamed together to stop something bad that's beyond the ken of mortal men. The gods are dicks. There's a helpful old person that they meet in the snow. The hero journeys to the afterlife. There's conflict with a dead father. There's an immigrant from a foreign culture. There's an unexplained Asian supporting character. Blowing a horn is sort of important. And they meet an unconvincing giant monster.
There's no punchline to that, it's just funny. I'm Diamanda Haggan and I have to live with it every day. Oh, wait. The same director did a movie about ancient Rome and China? Oh, fuck yeah!
Played me. I was your right hand.
Don't flatter yourself. You'd be surprised who my right hand really is.
It is a dark and fearful world.
Starting to panic yet?
Whether it was you and the militia or someone else, this day was coming.
Answers now. Prayers later.
The answer is in there.